Hi, my name is Femi.
And my name is Fejiro.
Welcome to the Free Mind Podcast.
That frees minds. So, on today's episode, we'll be discussing domestic violence.
And we have a really amazing guest today. What is your name?
My name is Oluwakemi.
Oluwakemi. Where are you from?
I'm from Ogun State.
I'm Belkuta, right? You told me that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you know why we're here today, right?
Sure.
I don't want us to dive into it right now. I just want to get to know a little bit about you first.
Okay. Well, my name is Oluwakemi Lawal Okewole. I am 42 years old. I have a boy of 8 years. I had my BSc from Olabisi Banjo University, and I had my master's from Lautech.
What did
Yeah.
you study?
I studied mass communication.
Oh, okay.
What do you do now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm into interior and painting.
How long have you been doing that?
That's over 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an 8-year-old son, too.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, what's your son's name?
Jason.
Jason. Mine is Elijah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, unfortunately.
We
Don't
waiting.
worry, very
We are-
soon you
we are-
have one.
we are
Soon
waiting on
coming.
you. Yeah. So tell me, are you in a relationship now?
I'm married. I
Okay.
remarried.
Okay.
When did you remarry?
That was 18th of August, 2023.
Oh, it's still new. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, how's that been going?
Ah, wonderful. I thank God for the person that God brought to me.
So you say you remarried, meaning you were married first. Before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long was that marriage for?
7 months.
Oh,
Oh,
that was very fast.
Very.
So first of all, okay, how did you do your first marriage? How did you guys meet?
Okay. On this fateful day, I met him at City Mall, Ikeja City Mall.
I see him.
Said he's a lawyer. And the fact that I don't like short people, but after so much persuasion, I decided to, okay,
Wait. Why don't
Eh.
you like short people?
I don't just like short people. I don't know why. Because one, for my past experience, once you're short, you always feel that, maybe this person is going to be more than me. Or sometimes they always feel inferior.
so what was it about him then that made you give him a chance if he was short?
My mom.
Oh,
This fateful day, I was in Lautech. I was about to finish my exams for my master's program. And my mom called. There's someone here. He says he wants to marry you. I said I don't know him too well. He's short. But the only thing I did was that I was working in the bank. So I said, okay, he picks me up every night. So to the house. Then my mom now called that he's here. He said he wants to marry me. And I said I wasn't interested.
how long into meeting him was this? Like,
This is just 2 months.
oh wow.
And she was like, you have started. You're just like your father. Yeah, someone wants to marry you. Instead of you to grab it, you are 32. At that point, the stress was much. I said, okay, let me try.
Not try to date him, try to marry him.
Yeah, I tried to marry him.
Okay.
Then what now killed it was I was trying to do visa to South Africa. So I think the guy I gave it to destroyed my international passport. So I was told to go to Abuja too. So on that, it was a coincidence. He was also going to Abuja. He now said he was driving there. I said, okay, let me go with him. One thing led to the other, the normal thing. And that fateful thing that happened that day brought out my 8-year-old son. So I didn't have a choice but to marry.
Okay.
I'm very naive sometimes.
Oh God.
So I'm just saying, when you said that thing, and what is the thing?
Sex.
See, when you said that thing, I didn't know what it was, so I needed to make sure I know. Okay, what that thing is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys had sex, then
Yeah.
you got pregnant.
Yes.
Okay. But first though, you said within 2 months was when he came to your house
Yes.
to ask your mom. So between that 2 months, were you guys going out, hanging out and stuff?
No, the only thing we're doing was he'll pick me up after work, takes me home. That's all.
You guys didn't go to like restaurants, movies, lounges, none of that?
No.
While he used to come and pick you up, did you? What was the relationship like? Did you guys used to gist, talk?
Yeah, normal. We gist before you get to my destination.
Okay.
We talk. But at a point, I was like, I'll think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was it.
Interesting.
So after, okay,
after the
you
deed was
how
done.
How did he take the pregnancy, first of all?
How did you take it?
Yeah, when you told him you were pregnant, was he happy?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
He was. I told him I was pregnant, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He was happy, and he said, "Okay, that will even make the marriage plans fast and all that." That was how we started.
Okay. Is that a cultural thing, Sha? Is it like a Yoruba thing, Igbo thing, Hausa thing, where if we're dating, or you get pregnant, we have to get married, or can't you guys? It's just a question though, because I'm not sure. Because I hear that a lot, like we dating or we just meet and we have sex because you're pregnant now. I have to marry you. Is that like a cultural thing?
We are now exposed
Yeah.
compared to before. While, after school, every lady wants, if I want to get married, I don't want to have a child out of wedlock. That's the issue.
Okay.
And the moment you're pregnant, you're like, oh, maybe this is the person God actually sent. This is the person that is supposed to be your husband. You understand? At that point, because all my mind was, I don't want to have a child out of wedlock. So the pregnancy came in at 32, after the whole book thing. So what am I supposed to do at that time?
Okay, can
I
I ask you a
want
question
to-
to actually just take you back?
Okay.
And this might seem like a very random question, but what's your parents' relationship like? So your parents' marriage, what was it actually like?
Yeah. Presently, they are not together. Even as at that time, they are not together. My
Okay.
mom and dad
Okay.
is separated.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it was just something your mom felt like she wanted for you, or because statistically most people that their parents didn't necessarily have a functioning healthy relationship. Turns out they don't have a healthy relationship themselves. Do you think that might have played a part in choosing to marry that guy when you got pregnant?
No.
I think it's most Nigerian mothers.
Mothers.
Okay.
Even before then, I was facing a lot.
Like just from people around you?
from her. From my
Okay.
mom, normal.
Okay.
Any little thing, maybe you want to pick up a glass cup in the house. Don't pick up my glass cup. You're supposed to be doing this in your husband's house.
Right.
Yeah, that's typically for
So
me. Yeah, that's
for her,
typically-
for her to now see somebody, and I was kind of person I'm reserved. Even while dating people, I don't bring them to my house.
Okay.
Even when she says, "Hey, who is your boyfriend?" I don't have. I
Even
want
if you
to
were
face
dating
my
people.
academics and the normal thing that you are paying for. Let me do that first. I was like, you are getting old. And I was the first daughter. So she was So this guy suddenly shows up. What do you expect a Nigerian mom? She was already picking dates, planning wedding before I got back from Lautech.
Okay. So you got pregnant. How long then did you guys get married from that
I
point?
think that was 5 months after.
Okay, so you were about
I
6 months pregnant at the time?
Yeah, I got pregnant in August
Mm-hmm.
and we got married December.
Okay, that was not
big
too long
wedding
at
or
all.
small wedding.
It was a big wedding. It was just a traditional wedding,
Okay.
normal introduction and traditional.
Okay.
Court was not included.
Why?
I got to know. Okay. On the 26th of December, that fateful year, 2024, we got married. It was like, since it was festive period, let's fix the registry January after Christmas and New Year. And I was like, no problem.
You said 26th of December, what year?
2014.
Oh, 2014.
14.
Okay.
So, and I was like, okay. So immediately after the traditional wedding and all that, I never knew he was married.
Oh.
So his first wife is a celebrity. I don't need to
Oh.
mention
Yeah.
names. Came to the venue with some tout
Oh.
with her baby.
The plot thickens.
Yeah. She actually wanted to come to the stage, to take her baby to the stage, so that I will know that, come on, this person you are getting married to is my husband. But along the line, I think the security, family members, that's his
Decided
own
her.
family members, intervened and they stopped her. Blah, blah, blah. I got to know that after. You know? That was just the issue. So, and I didn't even know after the whole issue. The only thing was my sister was like, snap with her very well. Don't make her sad. I was not like, what? I know people were giving him some kind of vibes, but I didn't get it. So I think January, while I was saying, oh, let's go to court, don't worry, hold on, we'll do that later, you know? Then a friend that was there called me and asked for my house address. She told me everything that day. I fought her. I was like, no, I don't think so. That was where the drama.
So wait, how many people do you think actually knew about this when the traditional marriage was going on? Did your family know?
They know. My sister they were aware, but they didn't want to
And they didn't
hurt
stop
me
it?
because it was just too early.
They didn't tell you that?
They didn't tell me.
But didn't you see like, because they always ask, don't you see like warning signs? And have
I
you
didn't
ever
see
been to
anything.
his house?
Yes, I did. Let me tell you the issue. This guy met me. Probably he likes me. He's from Ibadan. He came to Lagos to work. Seeing me, was like, probably I don't want to lose this girl. I think he was having issues with this popular celebrity. So he wanted to free himself. He now decided to get another person, which was me. So I think the period where he met me, he rented a house in Magodo, a 2-bedroom. So that was where I always go. I
to
see him
visit
there.
That's
I
what you
don't
thought
sleep
was his
over.
house.
Oh, this is your house. Oh,
Okay.
nice. You understand? And I go back to my house. So he did everything perfect.
You would never have guessed.
You won't even know anything.
Okay.
And that was the truth. The marriage was even early. I wonder, well, the wife is aware, so probably that was why it was with me. Until I got to know the whole truth.
I want to be a devil's advocate. So, this is a guy that you met. You weren't really attracted to like that physically,
Yeah.
you know. So, how do you go from that part to when you guys went on that trip to Abuja to you deciding, you know what?
Pregnancy decided.
I mean, you guys had to have sex.
Yeah.
So if I'm not attracted to someone, it will be difficult for me to have sex with them.
Okay.
But
Another story.
the more you talk to somebody, maybe then you start growing some type of
Feelings.
Are you
likeness.
about to give us
Person.
more information as to what happened that night?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin got married to Assistant Commissioner of Police. So, they actually picked us up from, I think, somewhere in Abuja. I can't remember. And when we got to her house, she was like, who is that? I said, my boyfriend. And she was now like, I thought you took a flight to this place. And I told her no, that I didn't want to tell her that it was by road. That it was one that drove to Abuja. So she was now talking to him. Have you met the mother? Have you, you know, he said, yes, I've met her. She's so wonderful. She's this, she's that, you know. And at a point, my cousin was not like, you know, you're already getting, if this is the guy, she said she likes him because he was talking, he was, you know. So after the whole issue, he wanted to leave. And my cousin said, this is a big house. You don't need to go anywhere. I have rooms that you can sleep. Then he decided to sleep. And my cousin was like, go and meet him. I said, no, I'm not attracted to this guy. I don't like him. I only told him you is my boyfriend because at this point, I don't have any boyfriend. And she was like, and the guy is not bad though. He's a lawyer. He talks friendly. He's this, he's that. I was not like, Like, Kemi, you have a very hard heart. Free yourself. Go and sleep with him. You don't know what will happen after this. I was not like, okay. My mother is convincing me. My cousin is also saying the same thing. That was
And
how
these
it
are people that
happened.
you
though.
trusted.
Hmm?
These are people you trusted
Yes.
their opinions.
That was what happened. One thing led to the other. He asked for it and I asked. I hope this sex that we're going to have today will not be a one day thing. After today,
That's
I
what he
won't see
asked
you
you.
again. Because men, this is...
Oh,
Oh, is that what you asked
that
him?
was what I asked.
Oh,
Okay.
And he was like, no, I love you. I do this. I do that. Normal way men speak. So, I now tried it.
And you didn't use any protection, I'm assuming.
I didn't.
Okay.
I thank God I didn't use. That's the only child I have.
So, how many times after that day, right? Did you guys have sex again, or that was it? Or
That was it. That was it.
Even throughout the whole marriage? Well, it was just
Marriage.
7 months.
No. Immediately after that day,
Mhm.
normal work routine.
Okay.
Then when I was expecting my period, I didn't see it. I was like, what happened? And I've never been pregnant, even while I was in school. So I was not like, what happened? And I went for a pregnancy test and I was told I was pregnant. And I called him. He was like, thank God. After that history, the sex continued. So
Okay. So, moving forward, so then you guys are now married traditionally now.
yeah.
So did you move in with him, or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so from then on, then how did that become very toxic?
You mean how it became a domestic
Yeah.
violence issue?
Yes.
Okay. I'll say domestic violence started from after the wedding. After the wedding, we went to Abeokuta to see my grandfather. My grandfather has a very big mansion, so we're there for like a week. So during this time, he said he didn't have money. And he said I should collect money for my grandpa. And I was like, no, I can't. That would be rude. And that's not even right. So he got angry at a point. I was like, he's going back to Lagos. He needs to go and start his business. This is that he can't keep staying like this. I was like, okay. Honeymoon is supposed to last for like 2 weeks or a month. If after 1 week you want to leave, what will I do? Then let's go together. So when I told my grandpa that, okay, we were leaving, he was not like, why so soon? He started talking. That was where he started talking to me anyhow. Your family cannot even help. What is it? I was not like, calm down now. Are you getting married to my family, or you're getting married to me? Are they supposed to give you money? Don't you? Aren't you? Hey, I used all the money for wedding. I was not like, if you have used all the money for wedding, then you calm down. After the honeymoon, you can go back to Lagos, make money. That is how it should be. And he was just talking. That was where he started shouting, talking to me at the point. And I was, at that point, those hurtful words, I was crying. But I got over it and we came to Lagos. So,
What kind of hurtful words was he actually saying to you?
Sometimes he might just say, you're very stupid. It seems you don't have sense. I'm telling you to do this, you're not doing that. That's how it starts. You women, you're just, sometimes you don't have brain. When men, see, domestic violence is not until someone eats you. Sometimes it might just be this emotional abuse. So that was where it started. Emotional abuse. And I'm a kind of person, I will just keep quiet. I will just keep crying and keep quiet. It's only when I'm tempted to talk that I will talk. So at that point, I was like, okay, they say marriage, you don't talk back to your husband. I kept quiet. And when we got to Lagos, the first thing he said was, I don't like the fact that you work in a bank. Maybe you go to your office and go and resign. I was not like, resign? Why?
He's the same person that was arguing about money.
Money. I was like, resign, why? He was like, no, he doesn't want his wife to work. He's from Ibadan. And where he's from, women, they are not entitled to work. We are the one that will feed them.
It's in a way, right? Not just because it's from Ibadan. Traditionally, I don't know about other culture. Yoruba men, we are. I'll talk about what I know. Yoruba men, we are more of that. Like I want to take care of my family. If you don't have to work, but yes, you have to be able to feed your family at least.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel like that's a red flag for me when a man is telling his
Very
wife,
much.
go ask your family member for money. To me, that's a red flag to a type of man that person is. But on the other hand, when he was saying like, okay, I'm Bado man, Yoruba man, I'm supposed to take care of my family. You don't have to work. In a way, yeah, he's
But
right somewhat.
There's a difference between wanting to provide for someone versus wanting that person to be dependent on you.
There's a difference. Yes, there's a difference.
Okay.
But at the same time, there's nothing wrong if I want my wife to depend on me. There's nothing wrong with that.
But if you want your wife to depend on you, are you going to provide everything she needs?
Definitely. That's where he went wrong. Yes. That's where he went wrong. If I want my wife to depend on me, oh, yes, but I'm just the kind of person, I don't want my wife to depend on me. So that's just me. But anyway, yeah,
Okay. So you guys had that conversation. That was the first sign of, I'll say, emotional abuse, right? What was the next sign that you then had?
I think we got married. Sorry. I gave birth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All this time you were still pregnant, though?
Yes, I was pregnant.
Oh.
That was
That's even
January.
a lot for a
I gave
pregnant
birth-
woman.
I gave birth in April. That's 2015. And all these things were happening between January, February. So, when I gave birth in April, that was where the wahala started. They have this culture in their family when you give birth as a woman. And you must follow that culture. The first call was the mother calling from Ibadan. She told me I should not eat salt when immediately I give birth. And she passed the information to my mom. And my mom said, why? He said that is their culture. Okay, no problem. I decided not to eat salt. It was not easy. Then she came, I think 4 days after I gave birth. She came with some concoctions that I have to eat it. Then after eating it, I have to pull up my clothes, pull up the baby's clothes, walk naked. Then while walking naked, probably on the stairs from downstairs, they will prepare a particular water that you have to pour on the baby and myself while coming in. And I asked the mother, Mom, I am too educated for this. I can't do it. And she was like, don't tell me you can't do it. That is their tradition. How will they know about the child? And I was like, well,
Who
there's
is
a
they?
DNA which you can find out about your child. I'm not the kind of lady that sleeps with different men. So she was not like,
Okay,
she's
so
not
all of this was it a test to find out if the child is the person's?
Yes, it's a test to find out.
Did you ask how they would? Sorry.
See, if you see the concussion, a normal human being is not supposed to go there.
So, but
Rats.
did you do it?
I didn't.
Okay.
Even when she said I should sit down, she wanted to force it into my mouth. My mother was sitting, was watching if I would do it or not. She wanted to force it into my mouth. I was like, Mom.
And your mother didn't stop it?
She wanted to see my reaction before she talks.
Okay.
So that it won't be like, you're the one that sent me out of your husband's house. And I told her I couldn't do it. She was not forcing. At the end of the day, she ate it herself. The woman ate everything herself. So I didn't care. And when she was not like, go naked, that was even a red flag. I said, me, go naked. Why? Because you want to test the sex of your child. Or you want to test if this child is yours.
Were these people Christians, Muslims? What were
They are Muslims.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I didn't do it. Then she started with the wala. If you know you cannot do it, then you cannot have a second child for my son. If not, she just came up with different wala. I kept quiet. When it was the day of the naming, they said they will not do naming. But the son was not like, he started with the drama. This, that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. That's how they are caught. I said, why didn't you tell me when we were cutting? Fine, it was short, but you should have told me. If that was why I spoke up. I said, firstly, I heard you are married. You didn't tell me you are married to somebody. Secondly, you are now telling me to come and eat one concussion. I should go naked. I hope everything is okay. See, I don't talk, but this one, I am ready to talk. I don't care what will happen. Then he was like, are you talking back at me? This, that. The day I was supposed to name my child was the first day I had a slap from him. And I was like, you slapped me. How dare you? That was where the issue started. I didn't tell anybody that he slapped me. I went down. They were naming the child. If you see from the video, I was not smiling. I just gave the child to the mother. And that was it. So, after the naming, I didn't see him. He didn't come home. When I call him, he doesn't even pick my calls. I got closer to the neighbors and they were, they always calming me down. My mom left. The mother left. Suddenly, he came one fateful day. And I was going to church. That was after 3 months. I wanted to go and dedicate the baby at Redeemed Christian Church of God in Magodo. He came home. I was like, where was I taking the baby to? I said I was going to church. I called you to see if you even join us.
Before you go
We're just
on,
going to make a quick break.
Yeah,
Let's
Okay.
take a quick break.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Free Minds podcast. We're still on with Kemi. So, Kemi, from what you were saying, you had the dedication and then your then husband went away. So how long did he actually stay away for?
It wasn't long. I gave birth in April, and dedication is 3 months. He left for like a month. He came back. During that period, there was a particular day he came back, and I was out of the house. He changed all the lock to the entrance of the house, except the back lock. So, when I came in, I was trying to open the door. I couldn't open it, and I went to the back. And that back has some kind of... There was no good entrance. So I opened the door. He locked the kitchen, locked the bedroom, locked everywhere.
He did this while you were out of the house.
Yes.
But at this point, were you still working, or you quit?
I was not working.
So when he told you he wanted you to quit, you left the job.
I did.
Can I ask you why you decided to leave the job?
I only wanted to listen to my husband.
Okay.
That was it. I was like, because the pressure was much, and I was like, okay, if you want to feed me, no problem. Let me leave the job. But that was mumu-ish of me.
But was he feeding you?
Sorry to use that word. What did you say?
Was he feeding you?
He wasn't. But he was just doing this normal thing that was not even okay for me.
So what was he actually doing? So he had quit your job. What was he
See.
doing?
There is something about their family. When a woman comes into their lives, my dear, if you have 10 million naira, you end up having nothing. They have this way of borrowing money from you. Ah, babe, what's up? What's happening? There's this project I want to do. I need this 2 million naira. While leaving the bank, I had money. I had money with me. I was like, okay. So maybe I'll think of doing business or something. He will come today, we collect 1 million. He will come today, we collect 500,000. You understand?
And there's someone that said they'll provide for you.
Provide for me. But the only thing he's good at is Maybe he's leaving in the morning. If he comes, maybe he's leaving in the morning, he drops 10,000 naira for you and tell you, write a note. Probably you're still sleeping. Oh, I dropped 10,000 naira for you. And you won't see him again the next 2-3 weeks. Yes, it was that bad.
And so, apart from that, you guys weren't having sex, right?
If he comes, we always have sex now. We're still living together as husband and wife.
Did you enjoy it?
I didn't enjoy it though.
But you did anyway.
Do I have a choice?
I mean, you did have it. Well,
I mean,
I'm still living
did you
under
feel?
his
Did you
roof.
feel like you had a choice actually?
I didn't have a choice. You're still living under his roof. You know, at that time, I was like, my marriage is just how many months? Will I go back to my mother's house? It was like a shame for me because it was a big wedding. And then a lot of people saw you that you're married. After how many months will you now carry your baby and go back to your mother's house? So I was still trying to stay in it.
Talking about the baby, how was it? You're a new mom dealing with a dysfunctional relationship. A husband that comes doesn't come.
My dear, it wasn't
was
easy,
it?
but thanks to my dear neighbors, they were wonderful. It was not easy. I must confess, it was not easy. At a point, there was no money, and I was feeding the baby. So I now decided, okay, let me go and look for work. I carried my CV. So sometimes I got a nanny, this normal crèche, so close to that place. So I drop the child anytime I'm going out so that I go to the island to see if I can get a job. But I wasn't able to get a job at that time. And it was difficult. He will not come home. He will not pick calls. And it will make life unbearable. The mother came in one day and was like, maybe I should go back to my mother's house. That since me, I decided not to do what they asked me to do. How will this,
That's
how will
drinking
that?
the rat water.
Yes, do all those things. How will I? You can't even, don't even dare giving birth to another child. Don't try it. You know? And I was close to a family member. She's a wife too, just like me. She told me that. I hope I didn't do those stuffs. I told her I didn't do it. She said, thank God. She said she was a Wema Bank manager. Immediately she did those things, everything she had went to her husband.
so the first slap, right? It was on the day of the naming ceremony.
Yes.
So when did the next physical abuse happened
happen.
again?
That was on dedication day. Like I said before we went on break, I said, he came home. I said, where was I going to? I said, I was going to baby dedication. I was trying to call you. You don't pick calls. And I sent you a message. And I already ordered the cab that will pick me up. So while going, he was like, where am I taking his baby to? I said, to church. He said, I dare not take his baby to church. That is a Muslim. And I asked him another question. I said, this is the third time. This is the third thing. When we were dating, you never told me you were a Muslim. You were the one that even took me to this Redeemed Church in your estate, which I started going. You went with me about 2 times. Suddenly, your mother came. I saw you praying. I don't get it. It was not like, so he's a Muslim, I cannot take his baby to church. I said, see, I already told them I'm coming for baby dedication. I am taking this child to church. That was where he took the baby. He actually put the baby on the floor in the sitting room and he started beating me. But you know, every woman, when you are doing this slay, whatever, you should have this Agberu side. So that when anything of this Agberu nature comes, you fire back. You leave all this your phonetic, whatever. Then while he was beating me, I was like, this guy is short. How can I deal with this one? And I held this normal, you know.
What?
I heard his prick.
Okay.
So why holding that? It was like, yeah. I said, see, if you beat me once again, it was not trying. I now went into the, what do they call it? Into the kitchen. I went to take a knife.
Ah.
That was
love
where
it.
he came closer to me. He now hit my head. This is where I got this mark on the kitchen zinc, and I was bleeding. The neighbors were already they were trying to settle the issue. He even dragged me out, tore all my clothes outside. This was a very bad day. At the end of the day, my neighbors took my child, took me to the nearest hospital. That was where I had this stitch. I didn't want to go back to the house that fateful day. I decided to go to the police station. I explained to them. I showed them my face, that my husband beat me up. The next thing was, I told them to follow me. I should be going. They will come and meet me at home. I said, hey. And my face was already brutal. Then the end of the day, the woman followed up. You know, he's a lawyer. On getting to the house, the woman said, oh, your attention is needed in the police station. It was like, what for? And they were like, oh, this lady here came to report you. He was like, okay, he's busy at the moment. When he has the time, he will come. I followed them back to the police station. He actually came. The DPO saw when we were shouting. The next thing the DPO could say was, well, you saw him before you got married to him. You are a woman. Listen to your husband. At least he said your family is the problem. I said, how? I was trying to. The woman was not like, the next thing the man just said was, oh, madam, I can't tell you to move out of the marriage or not move out. It is your choice. You can decide to do it, you know. And he was even telling me to apologize to him.
Was the
Lawyers
DPO
can cook up story.
Was the DPO male or female?
Male.
Male now. I'm sure it was a man.
It was only one of the constable that was a female that was like, if you try this one with my pikin, I will deal with you. He actually spoke to him. I was like, he was looking at the woman like this. Lawyers can cook up stories. You know, at the end of the day, stupid me was still saying, oh, I don't want to leave marriage. I now went back. I was now coping. Trying to see if it will work. But my dear, it didn't work. It didn't work.
Did he hit
Anytime
you
he
again?
comes home, he will eat me. There was even a day he brought a prostitute home. They were both doing rubbish in the sitting room, and that lady was talking to me anyhow. I was crying.
I'm so
I
sorry.
cry every day in that marriage. It got to a time, the only person I could talk to was my friend. She came home and told me, Kemi, why not leave this marriage? I said, this is barely 6 months. How will I leave? It's not easy. Where will I go to? I don't have money. How do I get an apartment? Yeah. How do I stand with this boy? This is still a small boy. And at a point, she said, see, if you don't start from somewhere, you cannot achieve whatever you want to achieve. And I said, okay, no problem. When I ended the story, this fateful day, the landlord knocked and said, Madam, where is your husband? I said, he's not at home. He said, well, we spoke to him. And he said that anybody they meet in that apartment is an illegal tenant. I cannot forget that word. I said, wow.
And this is
Illegal
with your baby.
tenant. He said, I give you 2 weeks to pack out of the apartment. I told him, I tried calling him. He didn't pick my calls. I said, okay, no problem. And I called my friend. I spoke to her. She was like, Kemi, this is the best time for you to go. Don't worry. I'll pay for your bus or whatever you want to use to pack your load. I now thought in my heart that this man has my money. He refused to give me my money. He has some things in this house. There are some things I bought with my money. On that fateful day, my friend came. She helped me in packing. I packed and I left. But I want to say something here. You know, I told you I took knife. Before I left, I started using knife to guide myself. I put knife here. I put knife on my hand. Anytime he knocks, I already go. The knife is by my bed. If he tries to do anything, I tell him I'll use this knife to stab you. I will stab you, stab myself, and stab this child, and everybody will be gone for life. He will call his parent that he didn't tell his parent that he actually beats me. He will tell his parent that I want to use knife. Those ones will now call me and start telling me, mommy, this, why are you using knife? Is this how it is? I thought, did your son tell you that he beats me? And they were like, no, my son doesn't beat. He can never beat a woman. I said, your son beats me. Come and check my mouth.
So at this point, what about your family? Your mom, did you tell her, or your dad, or anybody in the
My
family?
mom, to be sincere, I didn't tell her. It was when I left.
Is there a reason why you didn't tell her?
I didn't want her to feel bad. I was like, while growing up, I was trained to deal with your issues by yourself. So at that age, all my mind was, I can deal with this issue by myself. I can handle it. But I was doing a mistake. And he was already complaining that it's my mother that is this, giving rules and regulations in the house. And I didn't want it to escalate more than that. So at that point, what will I do? Nothing. I had to leave.
Okay, so after you left, what happened? So after your friend helped you, you packed up your stuff. What happened?
I actually packed my load to a friend's house, a male friend, somewhere in Surulere. It was of help. I now called my mom. I explained everything to her. She was mad. That why didn't I tell her, where is the baby? I said, I'm with a friend. She now said I should come home. At that point, I now had to go back to my mother's house. That was, I was telling neighbors that my husband traveled out. He wasn't around.
You're still protecting him.
I was still protecting him. I had to. After, I think, about 4 or 5 months, I got a job. I started my life again. I was able to get money. I rented an apartment. And I started living with my child. Till date, I might not face physical abuse. I still face emotional abuse
Even
from
just
this
mental.
same man.
Because I was going to ask you, when you moved out, right, did he try to look for you and anything?
Okay, when my mother was leaving, she packed out of that place because my younger sister got married and she was like, oh, Mom, I want you to come and start living with me. And she was staying on the island. So my mother packed away from there. She was the one that built that house, so she rented it out. He went there. That was where he
Thought you
knows.
would be, yeah.
And they were like, I'm Obiton, wow, you understand? He tried calling me. I didn't pick up the calls. So he didn't know where I was. But when my son was 1 year old, he called. That he wanted to wish him happy birthday. And the next question was, did you buy him a phone? Did you know how this boy was living? He said, me, I've started again. I said, give the boy the phone. I said, on which person's phone that you are giving this commanding tone? I wouldn't do that. Okay, can you bring the boy to ShopRite? I want to buy things for him. I said, which boy? Sorry, I can't do that. If I must do anything with you, I'll get a lawyer. Then he ended up the call. He called after 5 years. The boy was 5. What school is the boy? I said, what school did you put him? Did you send money for his feeding or anything? He started making mouth. Then the mother called, was apologizing. This, that. Okay. At a point, I was like, okay, this child has to go up with a father. He has a father. I mentioned the name of the school. He went there. He said he wants to change the name of the child. The first name, the middle name. I said, for what?
Does your son have your last name or the man's last name?
He has his surname.
Okay.
So if he has his surname, that is okay.
That's okay.
The first name and middle name, you said you wanted him to be a Hambody. Why? Because I gave birth to him when Hambody became president. Who cares?
So who gave him your child's name now? Who gave him that name? initially?
I was the one.
Okay. Did you guys have a talk about it?
We didn't talk about it
But
because
wait, during
after
the
the
naming ceremony, yeah.
everybody gave name.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
exactly.
He gave
And he
somebody.
hit you at the ceremony, if I'm
Yes,
not
he gave
mistaken.
somebody. I gave Jason. My mother gave name. Their family gave name. And ever since the time we were together, we never sat down. It was always issues, one issue or the other. So nobody had one name or the other. So after leaving the house, won't I give the boy a particular name?
You will.
Yes, I decided to call him Jason. You said you don't want Jason. That if not, he won't pay his school fees. And I walked him out of the school. I said, get out.
Wait, so you changed the name after leaving the house?
Technically, she didn't change it. She gave him the name at the naming ceremony. She just didn't give him the name that the father
Okay,
gave
but
him.
okay, so at the naming ceremony, after that day, what name were you guys calling him in the house?
You know, normal we call Bobo. That was the normal thing. And it was not always at home.
Okay.
So most times, you know, a woman will be the one to, Jason, you know, sometimes I call him Jason, Ayomikposi.
Okay.
You know, I just give him several names. So when I wanted to enroll him into the school, I just decided to use Jason. I used Dambode as the
As
middle name. When the boy was 7, the mother called again and was begging. Then I already moved back to Surulere. I wanted to use a lawyer, but my mother was like, no need. They let them see. I should leave them. Let them pay school fees. See if he wants to be responsible. And I went to human rights. That was human rights. That was a mistake I made, though. Human rights were after him. They didn't even look at my side. Women are not really important. They were like, is he not the father of the child? Are you the one to give rules and regulations? I said, this one, that has not even bought Pampers, that didn't even pay school fees. And the woman there was saying she had similar issues. This, that. At the end of the day, the woman was not telling Madam, leave him. Let him use that name. And let's see if he will pay school fees. She had not advised me. I decided to listen. He started paying school fees since then.
For how long?
When the boy was 7, it's just a year that he has been paying the school fees. I went to my son's school to pick up his report card. You went there and they said I've picked up report card. The message I got on my phone, you must be very stupid for picking that boy's report card. Are you the one paying the fees? Eh? And I replied him, I said, see, don't use vulgar words on me. That time is past. This is present. If you try it again, don't I have a right to pick up my son's report card? And by the way, who bought the report card? Is it you or me? He said he would deal with me. When he gets to that school, he will see who is the head. You understand? And I called the teachers. I told them, don't try anything with me. So I posted something on my WhatsApp story, and I was like, this popular TikTok, this thing, Moko Wale Walo Momo Ibadan. That means it says that you want to find husband, you want to pick Ibadan. They are the worst people ever. He saw that thing and was like, I'm not supposed to comment on your story, but this one I will comment. I will not take you, talk to Ibadan people where your son's lineage is from. And I said, see, what does this story have to do with it? It's a popular thing that is going. And I posted it, so what's the big deal? He said, how do I talk to him in that manner? He knows that I am rude. I don't know how to talk. If I talk anymore, he will deal with me. I said, how? How do you want to deal with me? See, I don't have your time. I don't want to talk. The only thing that is between us is this child. Pay his school fees and let me be. He said, you're a prostitute. You know, I see all your story. You wear short skirts. You do this. You that they've slept with. I can't even go near you again. I can't dare it. You know, that's your stupid parents. While he was talking, I was giving it to him back to back. I'm not patient. I gave him back to back. I said, see you that you are talking. Your father got married to about 10 wives. Someone like you have the right to even tell me rubbish. You know, that was it. So this emotional thing is still
It's even mental. It's even mental abuse. It's not
Yes.
even just emotional.
I had to even keep all those things that, okay, maybe tomorrow, anything happens. And luckily for me, I met somebody I was dating. You know, when I tell him about it, he will tell me, just leave that guy. He doesn't know what's up and all that.
So unfortunately,
Mm.
you guys share a son together.
Yes.
So, and whether you like it or not, it's always gonna be in your life because you share a son together. So, how do you think you can manage that
The
dealing with him,
relationship, yeah.
that relationship with your child's father?
You see, after that story, I blocked him everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. I won't lie to you, I had peace of mind ever since. He only goes to school to pay school fees.
Okay. So you guys don't talk on the phone anymore?
When he gets to school, he tells them this, they come back to me and tell me he said this.
Okay.
I'll tell them do, don't do.
Okay.
That's the only thing we do for now. And since then, I have peace of mind.
So
Right.
looking back now, if you have to do this over again, what would be some type of decisions that you will make and some decisions that you would not make? Looking back within this last year and a half, this last
7
8 years.
8,
Yeah.
7 years, yeah.
What I would say is, if you have to make decision, don't do it in a rush. Take your time. Because once you go in, you might fall out. So I don't do things in a rush anymore. No matter what anybody tells me, leave me. Let me deal with it.
And I think the good thing is you left. Some people don't leave.
Yeah, some people are still there.
Yeah.
So my next question is, as someone who's a survivor of domestic violence, right? What would you say is your message to other people? It could be women, men, other people that you feel are going through something similar or even their worst cases. What would you say is the message to them?
I'll tell them one thing. Though it's not easy to live, especially when your financial status is zero. It's not easy to live, especially when you love the person. It is not also easy to live when you don't know the next thing that you want to do, when you don't have backup. I would advise that you leave no matter what. And I want to say this message to anybody that has a daughter or a son. Let's train our children on domestic violence. We have women beater that beats their husband. We should talk to our kids on domestic violence. Let them treat woman as egg. Don't lay your hands on a woman no matter what. Find any other solution. That is the best. Most people don't do it, especially in Nigeria. We only train them to school and talk to them about this, but we don't talk to them about domestic violence. And it's really affecting every child that grows up.
How do you think you cheat your child?
My child, one day, I was called in school that I hit a girl in the class while they were playing in the playing ground. I drove down to the school. I took him, I told him, I told you never to touch a girl. I'm a woman. See, you eat egg at home. When you throw it on the floor, what happens? I said a lady or a woman is just like an egg. Treat them. Even if she gets you angry, why not report to your teacher? If she eats you first, report to the teacher. Don't eat a woman. Don't eat a lady. And since then, it has been working. Even when my cousin came to visit me, the 5-year-old child did something wrong. I was trying to eat. She said, "Mommy, but you said we should not eat a lady." I said, "Sorry about that. It was just because she's a girl and I was trying to train her." So I keep telling him every day about domestic violence. The way you talk to people, the way you address matter, the way, when anything physical, don't even dare. Even to your fellow man, don't do it.
This is, I just thought about this question, just to go back 1 second. Did he ever force himself on you? sexually?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
no.
And not to compare, what's the difference between the relationship you're in now to the one that you had before? Was
Before,
that
yeah.
like that one significant difference?
I've never experienced love.
Mm.
My first marriage was not love. But in 4 months in this marriage, I experienced love.
I'm happy for you, by the way.
Thank you. There are sometimes, it's just that we can only speak in English.
No, you can say it in
No, you can
Yoruba
say
if
Yoruba
want
if
to.
you want.
But the truth is, tí ọkùnrin bá dà, ó jẹ́ ká sọ síta. There are some things that you want to do and the man is trying to tell you, don't worry, let's do it this way. He's so loving. I don't know, maybe because he grew up in abroad. So, they don't treat women anyhow.
They're good Nigerian men too.
Yeah, we have good Nigerian men, sure.
He's Nigerian, right?
Yeah, he's
Oh, okay.
Nigerian. So he has just been caring, loving, everything.
What's his relationship
Even
like
to
with
my
your son? Yeah.
child. No, at the beginning it wasn't easy, to be sincere. There was a time whereby maybe we are both inside the house, inside the room, and my child is knocking. When I was staying together, I was staying in a room safe. So when he comes into the room, we sleep together. So this now it's a bigger apartment, and he's so used to sleeping with me. And when my child is trying to knock, every time, that's when mommy and daddy is doing that thing,
Yeah.
and he's trying to knock, and like, oh, he's always disturbing. He's always this, he's always that. And I was like, at a point, okay, he came to meet me in the kitchen one day while I was cooking, and he mistakenly eats my bum, and he was like, how dare you? It's your mother's bum. Ha! You know how much I paid for that? Yeah. And the boy was like, no, daddy, I was not, no, you don't talk to him like that
Yeah.
now. He said, no, you didn't train this boy well. How can you train him? But at a point, you will now cordially and tell him, sorry if I have spoken to you wrongly. It wasn't that. It's just that I'm jealous. I now called him. I said, see, how can you be jealous of this little?
yeah.
Take him as your child. But he has been wonderful to him.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
good.
he buys him anything he asks him he wants and all that his father doesn't even do. So
Well,
Thank God.
honestly, I wish you all the best with your new relationship,
thank you.
and even your son as well. I hope that you raise him to be a very, responsible, caring, loving son.
Amen.
So just thank you for
Amen.
sharing your story with us. Honestly, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you for opening up. I mean, this was good. One more question.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to, and this is just me, how long did you guys, this is your husband, how long did you guys date for before you guys got married?
A year.
Okay, all right, good. All right, I just wanted to, okay.
All right.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, thank you for coming. We really appreciate, your presence here, Kemi. This was really insightful.
It was very emotional, very touchful. I won't like I
Did you cry?
felt I didn't cry, but honestly, like hearing a woman's story and just hearing what you've been through, I can't imagine how easy it must have been, especially going through that while pregnant. Just pregnancy alone can be a lot, and then having to deal with that.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
didn't even say the whole story, but don't worry. The
it's
show has
okay. We'll save
ended.
it for the next episode.
Yes.
All right, so that's a wrap on this. Thank you so much, Kemi, again. So you've been listening to the Free Minds podcast.
Well, thank you, Kemi, for coming.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate your presence here.
We really do.
Thank you.
And my name is Femi.
And I'm Phaedra, and you've been listening to the Free Minds podcast.
That Free Minds.
See you on the next one.